Okay, I think I got to I got a question now.
Who's more fuckable, llama one or not? Okay. No, so I got anything in my teeth? I feel like I got burrito in my teeth.
You're good.
Good.
I probably have tortilla in mine.
Hella tortilla.
That's all right.
Welcome to the Hella Tortilla podcast.
Yes.
We're your hosts.
Yes, we are.
You know who we are. What are we talking about today?
You know how we do.
That was not intimidating at all. It's like, you know what we do.
You know.
But today, we are talking about the beloved Disney movie, Emperor's New Groove.
Yeet!
Yeet.
Okay, they are very excited about it. I am.
Stoked.
Yeah.
Okay, well, how about the guy in the beanie give us the summary for this
Yeah,
movie?
Are you referring to me?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you both have beanies!
Got him! Yeah!
All right, the less attractive guy with the
All right,
with the
that's
beanie.
me.
Ooh.
Oh, that's definitely him.
Basically, this very, very wealthy and royal prince.
He's an emperor.
Some would say
Emperor?
he's an emperor.
Whatever.
It's a title.
Weird how,
You're
like,
screwing it up.
it's not a king, it's not a prince, it's an emperor. Anyways,
It's in the title.
yeah. Emperor has absolutely selfish ways and gets turned into a llama because he drinks a potion because his second in charge is basically trying to kill him. After turning into a llama, he has a very come to Jesus kind of moment with the village and a villager. And as he makes his way back to the castle slowly with a lot of problems, he grows a relationship and finds himself.
Good enough.
I guess.
I
I
like it.
I'll take it.
feel like I fumbled it.
Yeah, you definitely did.
Well,
I mean, it's slippery fingers, but
Yeah.
I mean, you got it to the finish line. That's what
yeah.
matters.
Yeah.
I had pizza earlier. It's probably still in my hands.
That's fair.
Ooh, was it Papa John's?
It was Little Caesars.
Oh, hell yeah.
God, even worse.
That's why I don't feel very great. It was leftover from yesterday.
Oh, leftover.
Please
oh.
sponsor us, Little Caesars. We will take back that statement if we get a sponsor.
You don't even have a sponsor. You could just give me, like, hell, free pizza, but you pretty much do that every time I go because there's no better value than the Great Value Pizzas over at Little Caesars Pizza.
$5? How can you beat that, Dylan?
You can't beat that deal.
There's just no way. But anyway, about Emperor's New Groove, who wants to start off our beloved discussion?
I'll start off. So, this is our first time with a Disney movie.
So we have to give it...
Ever?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah,
Yes.
this is.
That
I'm
seems
almost certain
wild.
this is our first.
So we
Disney
have to give it
movie.
10s or the mouse will come out of the house.
Yeah, we better watch out about that mouse. But this one is interesting because with the modern remakes that they've been making of a lot of these kind of movies, like Mulan, for example, they decided to try and be more culturally accurate.
Yeah.
Which is funny because this movie has like Incan, Mayan, Aztec themes as just set dressing backdrop to a just nonsensical story that has technology and jokes and references that are in no way tied to the time period or setting that it is in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, honestly, that's an amazing point because
I didn't think about that either.
I had a hard time trying to figure out why I found myself enjoying this movie less on this rewatch for it. And it wasn't so much about the comedy or anything like that, because the comedy's, like, okay to good, right? Like, it's for me, it's that animation level stuff where I've said, like, there's not many movies in the animation world that drop below a 7 just because they all at least just hit this line. They have a pretty good formula, and they just do it, and they're, like, they're good with it. David Spade's great as Cusco, John Goodman's fun, and then, you know, all the typical stuff there. But you're right, there's, on this rewatch, I guess maybe just because it's been... I've seen so many incantations of the different ones, and I don't know, I feel like I've been rewatching or watching a lot of, like, the classic, like, the big Disney films just because the live-action one came out, so I'll watch the, you know, previous one.
Yeah.
And going back and forth between these and then coming back to Emperor's New Groove, it just didn't feel particularly special in any way, right? Like,
It doesn't have, like, the Disney magic that
Yeah.
the other ones do. There's not, like,
Yeah.
a mythos built around Emperor's New Groove.
right. It
Yeah,
felt like they were like, we have some downtime, we could put one of these out. What's David Spade doing? Is he still popular?
Yeah, I will say it's a movie that doesn't feel strongly Disney.
Mhm.
Like it
Yeah.
could have been a DreamWorks movie. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
It
Yeah.
fits
That's a
right
really
in
good
along with like Road to El Dorado or something like that. Like that's where I always mentally find it connected it's quite similar to that movie.
Yeah.
in my mind.
Well, it's got that Mayan kind of backdrop too, but they
Yeah.
definitely use it way more to their
Oh,
advantage.
yeah,
There's just like a
that
centerpiece
one-
to the story
Yeah.
compared to
Yeah, that one has the cultural part of it taking a much more central stage, whereas this one just uses it to like kind of be the backdrop and like the aesthetic choice, while it's telling a story that doesn't have to be at all in this era or in this setting.
Which
Right.
that's fine with me. I think that just
Yeah,
kind of goes
I mean,
more
it's-
to like the nonsensical humor that this movie definitely prides itself on. Like it's in the Mayan backdrop. Who cares? Like it's nothing.
Yet they've got a roller coaster that goes to their
Yeah.
secret laboratory,
Right.
and like it's complete nonsense, but it's a hilarious ride. I think.
But I'm glad that like they don't like use like that kind of juxtaposition to like point out jokes. Like I would hate it if like they brought out like a cell phone. Like, how do you have a cell phone? Like, this is the Mayan age, and like they just do something like that. Like they don't really point it out. It's just there for no reason.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of love-hate thing with that culture thing, though, because it just feels, now that I kind of think about it from that perspective, it just feels like that it's like a reskin of like a lot of like maybe other movies that they could have made, and they just kind of switched out a couple things, like, you know.
Let's switch out the palettes.
Right.
We'll try Mayan. We'll try like.
All right, let's
New
do this
Age.
movie, but let's do San Francisco animated and emotions instead. Like, and then it's Inside Out. Like, you know, it's all about learning to be a better person. Like any movie with that general arc as an animated thing, they're just like, and Mayan skin and Emperor's New Groove. And I don't have other examples off the top of my head for that, but I'm sure there are other movies that are just be a better person. Like, along that sidetrack.
Well, the main reason like it's actually like this is the setting for it is because it was originally supposed to be like your typical kind of like Disney movie with like songs, stuff like that. It was going to be called like Empire of the Sun or something like that. But there was like there's a whole documentary about it. I think it's on YouTube actually, about like how awful like the production cycle wound up going, and then we wound up with this movie, which I'm still happy with. But a lot of people still pine for what that movie could have been.
Yeah.
Because there's even a cut song from it where like Yzma does it. I forgot what it's called.
All things considered, though, like, and again, yes, the music part not being there does kind of take away that, like, that Disney feel to it. In a weird way, like, this is one of those things that I'm like, something about not having it in the movie does seem really jarring, doesn't it? Like, knowing it's a Disney film, and, like, again, like, I think back to, like, not Jurassic Park, Lion King. I was thinking back to, like, Lion King, and I was just like, oh, the musical parts, I'm always just like, oh, whatever, the musical part, like, it's good. And then I'm just like, all right, get back to the movie. That's usually my thought. But then the movie without it, I'm just like, I didn't think I'd miss it, but I kind of do, I think. Like,
I remember, like, whenever you had suggested this movie or told us we were going to have to watch this movie, I remember not liking it a whole lot whenever I was a kid. I told my wife, I was like, I remember the llama part, and I remember...
He's a llama.
I
yeah.
always thought that, like, Kronk was, like, his best friend, but I guess I was referring to the show, right?
Yeah, the show. Yeah.
Okay,
They're
so
like
that
best
was the
friends.
thing. Like, I think I had everything twisted up. But, you know, on rewatch, I actually did enjoy it a lot more. Try to pick it apart a little bit, but I couldn't. I mean, it was, it's like Dylan said, it was a comedy. You know, it's maybe a little bit below Disney's bar, but it still pretty much hits all those notes. I didn't notice how much music wasn't in it, and maybe that was a good thing.
They got that beginning song, but
yeah.
that's it, which I think's really good.
Yeah.
I really like that song. It's Tom Jones. He's like that little guy that's like dancing around
Yeah.
and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's when he said, what did he say, something about my groove?
You messed with the Emperor's Groove.
You threw off his groove!
Yeah.
And then throws him out of the building.
Oh, don't worry, it's not the first time I've been thrown out of a building.
But yeah, I mean, I think that this movie was pretty fun. It was very upbeat. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I think that Kronk actually stole the
yeah.
show.
This is Kronk's
Your
movie.
favorite?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Kronk is like one of the favorites
Yes.
that came out.
That's
of
why he
this.
got a movie after this.
Yeah.
As he should have. I mean, like, yeah, like, I was, if somebody else wasn't going to make the point, I was going to be like, Kronk just steals the whole show. Like, any scene he's in, I'm just like, all right, now I'm back on track.
I think my favorite part, the funniest part to me was like him and Ismay or whatever were stuck in that room, and she was like, "Kick down the door," and he was like, "Are you kidding? This is handcrafted."
I heard you in that scene, too. Like, as I was watching that scene, I was like, oh, man, that's Mason. Like, look at this. It's beautiful, handcrafted. My God.
My favorite with Kronk was when he was talking with his emotions. Right? He's like, "I got 2 points for you." The second one is, "Look at me do this." Like, what does that have to do with anything? Oh wait, he's got a point.
Yeah, the shoulder angel, shoulder devil gimmick with Kronk is always really fun. Even on the one where she's like, kill them or whatever. And the shoulder devil's sitting there talking for a while, and then the other guy, like the angel pops in, he's like doing his hair, and he's like, shouldn't you have been here for this? And he's like, oh, sorry, man, I had an appointment.
I do think that without Kronk, or even close to what he did in this movie, it turns a lot worse. So I do think that those comical, it was weird that all of the comical stuff mostly came from him, because like David Spades as a comedian, he's okay.
You figured that he would have all the lines on the
They still had great laughs too. Think of like the waterfall part.
Yeah,
that's
right.
Definitely one of my favorites.
There's a massive waterfall right behind me, right? There's rocks at the bottom of the waterfall, right? Bring it on.
Yeah.
I think he was good, but I was really glad that like him and Esme were like the other side.
Esme.
You said it different every
I know.
Esme will forever be her name
Please
for me right now. Yeah.
Think Isma. Okay.
I don't know, man.
Now you'll never get
I
it
don't know, dude.
Whatever. But they're purely there for comic relief. Like Kronk and Yzma are like, that's pretty much the only reason they're there. Whereas like the heart and soul of it is between Kuzco and Pacha, which Kuzco has like, you all can argue with me on it. I would love to hear it. But out of all Disney movies, I think that Kuzco has the most believable and almost well-crafted like character arc I've seen like in a Disney movie. But that's the reason, like, at the beginning, you're like, this is such a terrible person. I hate him. I want to see him burn. And then later you find out, like, Yzma's like his stepmom, and you're like, no wonder he's so messed up.
Well, and also, I just think it's funny that this movie,
What are you doing,
though it has villains in it, the villains aren't villainous. The real villain is the main character. And through, like, the first half of this movie, he's narrating to you, talking about how he's such a great guy and all these terrible things have happened to him.
It was overdone.
Like when Pacha like is having that real emotional beat and he stops the complete movie, he's like, it's not about him.
Yeah.
It's about me.
Get back to me.
Yeah.
Back to me.
No, I would, well crafted, I would probably argue against. Because I remember thinking on this rewatch that it didn't feel like he started to curve upwards, right? Because it's a downward slope of being a villain, and then like there's that moment where he starts to get into the redeeming parts of it. I really didn't feel that until like maybe the last 10 or 15 minutes, and he starts doing good things, but does he actually start being a better person until then? Like not until really like the last 5 or 10.
Yeah, which is why I think it's so good.
Deceiving him.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Like in every typical like Disney movie, you'd think, oh, they're getting along. Like Pacha's such like a good person, they're getting along. And then when Pacha goes through the bridge, and he's like, Kuzco, help! You're like, oh yeah, Disney, he's gonna like help him up. Blah blah blah. And then like Kuzco just looks down and is like, nope, and then just tries to go on without him. And
But
then
that's the thing. It's like with Disney, I would expect that.
Right.
So now I'm sitting
I
here watching
definitely
a
would
Disney
not.
movie. No. I meant like he would help him. So the fact that he
but
didn't,
like when he jumped across, that's
Yeah,
what I was.
right.
when he
saying.
didn't, that's when it kind of throws you through a loop. And I feel like if they had maybe softened him up like a little bit sooner, it would. I don't know. To me, it would have been a little bit better. Because he was such an asshole. He
doesn't really become a better person till like the 11th hour.
Right.
Yeah.
Very
Like,
last
very
When they
last
literally
minute.
have to have each other's backs to get out of it. Like that one part where like they finally get to the top and he's like, you got to push me up with your head or something. And he's like, you're just going to leave me. Like that's perfect. Like it's them coming together at that moment when he actually starts to become a halfway decent person.
Yeah.
See, but
that was the turning point for sure.
I think that's where I struggle to say like this would be like the best or the greatest like character arc with it, because it
I'm
again
not implying it's like the best Disney movie. I'm just saying
right.
like, character arc.
I mean character arc within even the Disneyverse, like because it gets to that point, and even then it's
Disney's not known for their nuance in their characters
no,
at all.
I'm not saying that they are, but I'm not saying that it's just like this is above and beyond with that, because for the last part of it again, it's up to that very last minute. And then there's a time lapse between like him being like llama like finally, and then him like doing his emperor thing again, and he's like cutting up with the old dude, and there's that last little part, and then like he's like a better person, like you can assume that he's like, and then he's better, but then there's just that little bit right there, like it just felt like it took way too long to get to that point. And
the movie's like an hour long.
I know, which is like what narratively, right?
Yeah.
Not like time wise, like I'm not like, oh, this should happen at 32 minutes ago. But like narratively speaking, it felt like it took way too long for him to curve up into that. So I feel like it was left unexplored, or it just didn't. Not that it didn't feel earned, because that doesn't feel right, but it just didn't feel like it landed the right way for me, I guess.
That's fair.
Yeah.
The biggest thing, like, I know I've been talking like all positives about this movie, but like the biggest thing that I will say against this movie, it does that typical like buddy thing where like they have that disagreement that doesn't really make sense. It's like, you're just helping me because you want your like thing to live. It's like, no, I'm really trying to save you, and they have that argument, and then like literally 2 seconds later, he overhears them saying like, oh, we're trying to kill Cusco, and he's like, oh man, I really messed up, and then it goes to him like crying in the rain or whatever, which.
No, manufactured drama. Yeah.
That did not feel needed at all. But luckily, like, that was like a 3-minute segment, and like it didn't last long.
That was targeted as like 8-year-olds, which I think was suited. Like, I mean,
8-year-olds in price. Yeah.
Plus right before
I feel those 8-year-olds. Not
right
literally.
Before that was really cool.
We don't diddle kids.
Flip it.
We don't diddle kids.
Right before that was the whole diner scene where, like, again, Kronk was in there. Chef, dude, one of the best scenes in the world.
Oh, 100%. Where they're going around in that circle.
Yes.
Like, I want like scallops. Like, no, hold the scallops, please.
Yeah.
Like, hold the scallops.
As soon as the waitress like tells Kronk that he's the cook now, he was like, I don't know what he said.
He said something
he
like
was an
crazy,
instant chef.
like double bogey, hold the lettuce, fried in bacon.
But yeah, like you said, with that little dumb disagreement. What, Poncho? Was that his name?
Poncho.
You can just call him John Goodman.
Or Poncho.
Trying to reiterate,
Pick one.
Poncho was something else. I could do Esme.
Good John, man.
Anyways, Poncho was like the good guy the entire time. Never left him hanging, which was pretty cool. You know, again, on David Spade's character, would not do that for him until maybe 65% of the way through the movie.
Yeah.
Then he was finally decent.
Oh yeah, definitely should have let him die. I mean, but he's just naturally a good person.
Yeah.
When like he goes out into the forest, Poncho's like, "You're gonna die out there. Like, don't go." And he's like, "I can find my way back on my own."
It's
And-
easy.
Yeah, and Poncho's like, "Yeah, not hard. It's easy.
It's easy.
It's easy as making that first billion." But yeah, but he's just a good person at heart. I know this with comedies, there's not too much to really chew on.
Yeah.
I keep giving you all those. This is a double whammy. It's comedy and animated, so.
I have another thing that I couldn't
Yeah.
chew on was
What was real chewy for you?
that it's such a weird trip. So, all right, Llama goes back to the village, starts to work his way all the way back, and about like 75% there, they decide, oh no, the people are going back, so they go all the way back.
Oh, that's true.
Right,
Yeah,
like,
they go back to the hut.
Cusco and Poncho go all the way back because what was the reason again? Like,
I can't remember. I remember Kronk and Isma be there.
Because they were heading there after him, and he was concerned for his family's safety.
that's right. But I remember thinking, like, so they go back there, which, to be fair, the family's pretty fun. Like, the family's like...
Oh,
it's
they're
okay.
great.
Yeah.
I think she's pregnant, which is like, I mean, it's like early 2000s, so maybe.
Good for them have sex.
Yeah.
So, but they go all the way back there, and then there's the all the way journey back with that, and I was just like, I don't know. I felt like they just wrote that in, just be like, oh, the family was kind of fun. I feel like we could get one
Yeah,
more
let's
scene
bring
out of
them in a little bit longer.
Yeah, yeah. I was like,
But then they had that like little jump rope and skip it like 99 monkeys.
Yeah.
No.
Isma's in there jumping along too.
She gets like feathered and tarred or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about that part. That is true.
Yeah.
It was like, and the journey took so long.
I know, that's
they
what-
kept like adding on. They were like, well, that'll be another 4 days since the bridge came down.
Well, and then they finally get to like Cusco and Pacha get there, and then like the bad guys show up.
Right.
It's like, how did you get here so quick? And they're like, by all accounts, this doesn't make any sense. And they're just like, no, well.
Yeah, it's a very lighthearted, like quick movie. I will say. I was sitting there like I think I looked at it about halfway through how long it was, and I was like, oh, it's only like an hour 35. An hour
No,
36
it's like hour
minutes.
10.
Yeah, hour 10, hour
Is it really?
15.
It does
yeah.
not hit that even
It's-
like hour 20.
It is
It's so short.
under 80 minutes.
It's
Yeah.
like a TV movie or like a
Yeah, like
Yeah,
a long
hour
episode of
special.
TV. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Game of Thrones episodes were longer than that
That's
towards
true.
the
Yeah,
end.
that's true. That's true.
We've
we
come
saw
a
how that
long way,
went.
Price. We've come a long way.
So, do we do the question next, or is that the
No,
link?
fat thin then question.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Ooh, you're
Take
excited.
it
I
away,
like it.
But-
one of our hosts.
Speaking of K Bueno and it's just the gas station stuff,
Yes, Speedway.
but
Thank you.
and
They'll
Speedway.
sponsor us.
Yeah. Speedway will sponsor anybody.
Yep.
As they should, with such great deals on prices over their gasoline things. And have you tried their hot dogs, guys? K Bueno wouldn't sponsor us for shit, though, so fuck you, K Bueno.
Oh no,
Don't they won't.
that'll affect you guys'
Tweet them. You
I know.
can't. They probably don't even have a Twitter
We'll just take
account.
like 50 cent off coupons. We'll take those.
Oh.
We'll use them.
Yeah, we definitely will.
Anyway, so this next segment is called Fat, Thin, Perfectly Fit. You get to determine which of us are the fattest host and which are the thinnest host. That's how
And the fittest host.
Yes!
I'm wearing a very baggy hoodie, so you'll never know.
Yep, he could be extravagantly fat or extravagantly unfit. We'll start with Mason.
No.
No, we're talking about the movie Shape. You know this segment. If you don't, go watch another review. We'll tell you there.
So I'm kind of like torn between like fit and thin because like I'm really glad that this got a show. Or I know I didn't watch the Kronk's whatever special that he had.
Kronk's New Groove.
Kronk drops strong.
Have no idea what that is.
Kronk drops donk.
But Price actually played the theme song for the show, and it doesn't level with me at all. I don't remember it.
I remember it so well.
But maybe if they had added some stuff to this movie, it would have been better. I don't know what you add on because in theory the whole
More Kronk.
Yeah, but at that point. It's his movie.
Yeah.
I feel like it was very balanced.
Well, I mean, as short as it is, you could have watched both of them.
Probably so.
Uh-huh.
You're right. Maybe that's the whole trick. You just fuse them together somehow.
Yeah, could have been a double feature. I could have
I'll
done that
give
in a
it
double
fit.
feature month.
I'll give it a
Let's
fit.
do more themes. We'll do another double feature.
No!
As long as it's a Nick Cage month.
No! Unless we're doing Left Behind, which I heard is terrible, but I don't want to watch.
Oh,
We're going to talk about that.
We do Nick Cage. I'll pick Into the Spider-Verse. He's in it for like 5 minutes.
That's fine.
He's in it more than
You
5
had your
minutes,
chance.
but
I would have
Yeah.
gone with it, but no, you didn't. Fit.
Fit. Okay. God. Thin is a weird rating to give to this one because it does feel like its runtime matches exactly what it gives me.
You do fit.
But it almost makes me feel like it's a little chubby because there are parts of me that I'm like, no. It's not enough either way with the runtime. Like, credit for this movie's credit's like due. Like, this movie's runtime is nice compared to 2.5 hours of Lawnmower Man, 2 hours and 45 minutes of Lawnmower Man.
He did the director's cut.
Yeah.
Let's just let that be noted once more.
Fuck you, past me and Nathan. Yeah, so it doesn't go enough either way with its runtime. So I mean, I really gotta go with fit. No problem.
Okay. He sounds really confident about that.
I guess.
That's
like,
what's weird about it. It's like you don't want to add anything, I don't think, but you also
right. Like if
can't
I
really
add anything, I don't
shorten anything up.
It doesn't
either.
make the movie better. If there's nothing that's so bad that I say I really need to take this away. Yeah, I mean it's fit. Like,
You know what? If I was to take anything away, it would probably be like the opening sequence, like before he was a llama. Like maybe just tighten some of that stuff up because he was such a dickhead.
Okay, so to go off of that, I'm saying that this movie is thin, and that's actually what I want more of.
there it
Is the opposite of
makes
what
sense.
he's
More of
saying.
an
That's
asshole,
honestly what
yeah.
I was gonna say. Is because like I'd like to see more of like his character before like all these events happen, because we only really get like 5 minutes or something. Not really much. Like you get him being the emperor, like being mean to that old man, and then he like saying he's gonna destroy Pacha's village, and then basically it takes off from there. I'd like a little bit more from there. Maybe like show like a little bit more of how Yzma actually raised him. You know, like kind of show like
some
really
humanization there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Show like kind of like how he got to where he's at. I mean, you kind of know. Like, I mean, he's an emperor, and it shows like he's like it has that segment where he's like a baby and he's like crying, and then like 20 hands kind of reach out like to give him what he wants. So you kind of already know, but I would still like more on that. And then maybe I don't know, even other than that.
Stuck in a dryer.
Okay, I don't know what he's saying. He's just cutting in, so I want to say thin, and I'll pass it off to Superior Beanie.
I'm gonna call it fit. There's nothing needs to be added or removed in my mind. It's a solid movie. It just is rolling jokes the whole way through. I see no fault in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's time for my question, which is going to be just a generic kind of like comedy kind of question. Not as good as a Jake Gyllenhaal one. Not many questions can be that good. You crushed it.
Thanks.
You crushed it. Or I could do like a comparison between the John Goodman like performances we've seen,
Yeah.
Oh,
which is this
Cloverfield
one,
Lane.
and Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah.
What a list.
Compare and
wow.
contrast the two.
I would have
No.
to add on a Brother Where Art Thou and a few others.
No, we haven't.
Well,
we
but
haven't
we'd have
watched
to
that
have
yet.
reviewed it. Like it would have to have been a movie.
Yeah, it has to be one that we've
Still
seen
going
on
on my
here.
list.
Okay, but anyway, mine is just going to be, what was your favorite joke or scene in this movie? Just because it's a comedy, I feel like everybody's going to have a different one. So funniest joke or scene. It could be either one. Am I like, you got it, Mason?
I'm gonna go.
Is it the
Nick,
one
he
you
just
said
leaves.
earlier?
I think I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna snatch that one up before anybody else can get it. I think it's the handcrafted mahogany because At that point, you knew what Kronk was about. You knew what you were going to get with his lines. You were on the edge of your seat anytime he spoke. And man, he delivered. Mm-hmm. And then right after that, the whole, like, tumbling down the hill, and you had Esme, you know, that got, like, glued and feathered. It was, if anybody, he earned it.
I'm going to grab it next because I feel like everybody's going to take the Kronk jokes.
No, that's not fair.
You got to grab them before they're gone.
Yeah, I got to get them while they're hot and fresh.
Before they're saturated.
While he's cooking them up for us.
Okay.
That's going to be my choice.
Yep.
Is the whole placing the order scene because that
Oh
was
man,
just
that
hilarious.
was so good.
It's like that perfectly missing each other kind of thing.
When they definitely should have seen each other.
Absolutely.
And then even after they get done with that, like he's looking at the menu, and then he puts it down, and then puts it up, and it just keeps going.
Like
it was
that's
like
a simple
high
joke.
risk.
It happens a lot in movies, but it's still funny.
Yeah. When done right, it just really, crushes execution. So I guess my favorite scene, which is a Kronk scene, is again the one I talked about earlier, the one with the Angel Swords of Apart.
Which one?
She's the when she tells them
There's
to go
two.
kill him.
Okay.
And again, they're just like, oh, no, and then she calls them like stupid or incompetent or something like that, and they're both like,
they're like, whoa.
oh, no, whoa, no, she's gotta go. Like,
Yeah, and he's loaded like a shotgun.
Yeah, like
the angel one.
Barrel shotgun.
I love that the angel was the one loading it too. He's just like, nope, she's gonna go. That was me. Like,
Well, I'm gonna buck the trend and actually do a Cusco line because that whole like
That's the only thing that's left.
wacky scene when like they're trying to get the potions and they're all gone and they're testing them all out, trying to figure out which one's which, and he keeps changing into different animals. Then he finally drinks that one and he's like, "Yay, I'm back to being a llama," which is not what he's trying to do at all. Like that just took me off guard and I just laughed so hard at it.
Then you had that like moment where they were just looking at each other like the realization that he didn't want to be a llama.
Yeah. Okay, so that's got that out of the way. So let's do scores, everybody.
Okay.
You can do anything from a 7 to a 10 here. Let's see what we got.
Honestly, that's probably gonna be about right.
let's start with Nathan 7.
With Nathan 7.
I'm gonna land at an 8 for this. Okay. Usually I want more out of the movies that I watch, but this thing did everything it needed to do, and it was funny the whole way through.
I'm pressing the pause button. Pressing the pause button.
Okay.
Nathan, you said that you always want more from movies. Your movies are notorious for being at least 2.5 hours long.
Yeah. That's
What?
why I say I want a longer movie.
Yeah,
Oh
it wasn't enough to chew
gosh.
on for him. This was a brief. He probably watched this on his lunch break.
Yeah.
Okay, play. Keep it going. I'm just so confused and annoyed. Oh, am I going next?
Oh, no.
I mean, if you're in for
Go ahead.
okay.
Sit down for that movie.
We're jumping around.
barely
Okay.
enough time to finish your popcorn if it's
True. You
just
cook your
over an
popcorn, you
hour.
sit down, the movie's done. So.
We actually ate popcorn while we watched this movie. We
You
really
and Katie did?
Yeah.
It's funny, Hannah did, but I didn't eat popcorn.
Caesar didn't.
It's a good flick. Good popcorn flick.
He was just eating dog food.
You know, it's weird.
Slurping water.
What? Oh, God, he's always slurping
While we're
water.
recording.
Dog.
Nice and loud.
Yeah.
I'm going 6.5 on this one. Oof. I know. That's what I said. Oof.
Woof!
Yeah, I know.
Woof!
Yeah. It's not a bad movie. I mean, it's not, and 6.5 doesn't reflect that. But I think the bar, right? Like the pretty much all animations land at a 7 and start either usually working their way up. This is one where I came back and its runtime almost pushed it to a 7 for me just because there's not enough there. But yeah, the more we talked about it, the more I'm like, there's nothing particularly special about this movie. Like, Kronk's funny, sure. And like, as a comedy, it's like, sure, it's great, but it's also the animated part, and then like the whole chunk of an animated thing is just, it's totally really unnecessary for the film. I mean, other than some of the gags that happen like, occurring just for like the pace of it, I'm like, this movie, I hate to say this could be a live action movie, and we wouldn't probably blink too much of an eye at it. Like, I mean, this could have been done in live action. I think about some of the things that gets done in animation, and I'm like, there's not extra spectacular stuff. I mean, maybe throw them off a waterfall. You could do that in live action now, though. That being said,
That part would have to stick around.
yeah, right. So, I don't know. Like, we mentioned the cultural identity thing, and it's just kind of a skin there. And I think, like, some of the jokes were fun, but they weren't, like, over-the-top funny other than Kronk for me on this run-through. So, yeah, it felt a little bit short for me on, like, where I usually expect animated movies to be at on the bar. So, 6.5. Not a bad one. It just didn't land for me as well this time.
Okay, you don't have to feel so sorry about it.
No.
It's above 5. That means it's above average.
You know what?
That's all right.
I want to ask Dylan this question then. Give us your.
Can I answer or Nathan?
Nope.
Okay.
Give your top 3 Disney movies.
What?
Top 3.
We were doing this. I thought we weren't doing
I want
this.
to see what Dylan's bar is.
Oh,
Aladdin,
Okay.
Lion King. I know I always forget one, and I feel bad about it. It's not Beauty and the Beast.
Brave.
Definitely not. Where am I missing?
Big Hero 6.
Big Hero 6 is delightful.
So good.
It's
Princess
so
and
good.
the Frog.
Moana.
No, I
Big
was
Hero
pretty
6
good,
is
too.
really dumb.
Big Hero 6 is dumb fun.
Tangled.
It's just like the plot is so dumb. It is.
Dude.
I don't know. I'll give it to Frozen 2 for right now. 'Cause Frozen 2
Oh, yeah.
So there you go,
I feel
guys.
that.
There
I
you go.
feel
There
that.
is Dylan's
Into the
bar.
unknown.
No, that's the first one.
Into the unknown.
No, Into
I'd like to do it again.
Let It Go is.
I'll let it go.
Gosh,
Let It
so
Go.
bad.
It's number 2.
Remember, I saw Panic at the Disco did it, and I'm like, I am so excited, and then it's just him yodeling for 30 minutes.
It was actually worse.
All right, I'm gonna give this movie a 7.5. I'm pretty harsh when it comes to like animation. I feel
He
like
very much is.
because like
Look at our Promare review.
oh my god,
Earned it. Earned every bit of low score it got.
I think I gave that one a 6, maybe a 5. Anyways,
You went low.
I think that like this movie, for as much as it is and as much of an impact as it had, you know, anything that gains a TV show afterwards, or a sequel's one thing, right? TV show is kind of bigger, you know. Video game is even more. Well, maybe not. I think I messed that one up. I think it's video game, sequel, and then the TV show. So for the impact that it had, it was pretty good.
I'd probably put sequel. I don't know for
Video
Disney.
games they
it's
make
so
for
weird.
everything. They
Yeah,
made a
they'll spit that up for anything.
yeah, they made a Da Vinci Code video game. Right?
Did
Anyway,
they?
yes.
Huh.
But they also
Is
made
Tom
the
Hanks
sequel.
in it? I
Probably.
love
No.
that guy.
7.5. I feel like is earned. I think this is a pretty okay Disney movie. I don't think that it crushes any others. I don't think that there's others that are far greater than it either. I think there might be a few that are better. But yeah, 7.5 I feel like is pretty comfortable. I would show this to a child. This is definitely a child's movie, and their parents can tune into.
Come on, man.
The implication is fine with this. Yeah.
Me and the 8-year-olds are getting very offended.
Well, when I think about this, I think of like Megamind, right? Like you had picked that one, you picked Kung Fu Panda 2.
Megamind is definitely made more for adults, though.
Uh,
Like, if you
Either
rewatch
way.
it, there's a lot of, like, adult...
Mega Mind is
Humor
kind of
in
better
there.
this. Despicable Me actually might be better than.
You like Despicable Me better than Emperor's New Groove? Wait, hold the
No,
podcast.
no. I'm thinking
Oh,
of
okay.
like character arc, like as far as like the same story as. So you take a bad guy and then you kind of make him like redeemable good guy.
No, I don't... Despicable Me... No, that's
Listen,
not what we're doing. Mason's giving his score.
Yeah, give us 7.5.
Give the man his stage.
I will land at a 7.5 and feel pretty confident.
All right, Mason, imagine the mahogany joke's not in there. Where does your score go?
Is Kronk like also...
Kronk's still in it. Just
Kronk's
not
still
that
in it,
joke.
just the mahogany joke.
Just that
7.
one.
Yeah.
It's a
But it's
7.
in it, 7.5. You heard it.
7.5 if it wasn't for the mahogany handcrafted wooden door.
I remember I laughed at that, but I didn't think anything of it after.
She's
I
like
immediately thought it was
panicking in
amazing.
Yeah,
this
you did.
room. Like they are trapped in this room and he's just monotone. Are you kidding me? Anyways, go ahead.
But anyway, time for my score. I am going to land at an 8.5. The reason I like this movie so much is just because it feels so not Disney, and because most of the time, like, I don't enjoy like Disney movies, and I'm separating Disney from Pixar because I think that they have very distinct styles, and even though Disney owns Pixar and they get kind of conflated in discussion a little bit, I definitely don't picture them as the same thing. When I think like Disney, I'm thinking like the ones you named, which I don't know. Guilty. I still think I like Aladdin more, but this is still like one of my top
I mean, Aladdin's
picks
sweet.
for Disney, just because like it goes against the trend so much. Like it doesn't feel like a Disney movie, and I personally like the animation. Like I like the kind of zaniness that they do with it, like all the like weird like body shapes that they do, and just I don't know. I thought it was a really good looking movie as well, and like I said, I enjoyed Cusco very much. I enjoyed all the characters. There's not one character I did not enjoy in this movie. Besides possibly the two kids, they get kind of grating, but they're the ones that are like the real like in your face kind of humor, like the like pie in the face kind of humor, like for the little kids.
Yeah.
So,
Like their humor is built for the kids. Like,
yeah, exactly. There's not like nothing like an
But
adult
they feel
can get
a
out
lot
of it.
more adult than they actually are. Like
They act more mature.
Like the decisions that they make and the quips that they have are like punching above their age level too.
Yeah. So still 8.5 for me. One of my favorite Disney movies. I would put it on any time, especially it's so digestible too, because it's like an hour 15 minutes. Like if I'm like, man, I'm not really in the mood to watch a movie, but like, I'll watch a movie. Like this one I could easily put on just because I'll get a few chuckles. It's like an hour long. It's not going to take up too much of my time or my mind space. So, yep.
Hercules. That's my number 3.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
That's a really
Hercules
good one.
is so
That
good.
is
That is
really
like
good
the
one.
same same skin,
Uh-huh.
same back set, same everything. Yeah.
Hercules is fucking good.
Hercules is a good movie.
Oh shit,
Oh,
so
yeah.
good. Fuck it, I'm gonna pick Hercules.
I shouldn't say the same.
Well, you're going to have to wait.
skin.
You're going to have to wait 2 weeks to do your pick, sir.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'll give it exactly 2 weeks from now.
Yep. All right, so that was our episode, and
Yep.
it is my pick next week. We're gonna go with The Social Network. We have
Which one?
tossed around this idea a lot, and we're finally pulling the trigger on it.
So,
It'll be my first time watching it.
was it Mandy that you did this rotation?
Yeah.
So it's Mandy, Emperor's New Groove,
Social
Social
a
Network.
David Fincher classic.
Yep.
Yeah,
Is he? Wait, he did Fight Club, didn't he?
yeah.
Yeah, David Fincher.
We're gonna talk more about that next week.
He's got a crazy diverse thing.
Yeah,
I need to
it's all
look
up.
more
He
at
just
it,
had
'cause
one
it's
come
interesting.
out very recently since we're
What
not
was it?
dating it. Mank.
Mink.
What is that? Because that sounds like you're trying to say mink.
We'll
and
talk
you're
about it.
saying
We'll talk
mink.
about it next week on our episode talking over the Social Network. Make sure to tune in. You can catch us all on this channel always. Make sure to subscribe if you like all that shit. If you put the thumbs up, you're gonna
You like
help
our
it.
shit.
If you put a thumbs down, just comment. I don't care. I'm curious. Just let us know.
Yeah.
Or bro. Or
And if you
Brian.
leave a comment, we'll probably reply to it, and we can have a discussion with you because, I mean,
We're that
nobody else
kinda-
is leaving comments, and
We're that kind of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, you can tell by this production, we're not that big of a deal. Feel free to start the comments below, have a conversation with us. Go tune into our Jurassic Park review, which just dropped on the channel, but if you're watching this, then it's already dropped for a while.
Yeah. That's a pretty old call there.
But Dylan Camacho left a nice comment that said, Price talks too much in the first 5 minutes of this review.
you
That's
really?
our show, everybody. Make sure to tune in next week for Social Network.
did you? I haven't checked that.
I haven't either. I liked it earlier.
You did not. Let's see. Let's see if you did. You bet.